This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Have you been struggling lately? Maybe you're having trouble sleeping, difficulty with the relationship, or just suffering from self doubt. Now, y'all know there's no shame in my game, and life has been lifing lately. Trying to manage the priorities of being a wife, mom, friend, and full time entrepreneur, it can get overwhelming. If this sounds like you, then BetterHelp wants to help you today. BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained to listen and help you. Talk to a therapist in a private online environment at your convenience. There are over 20,000 therapists in BetterHelp's network, which gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. All you have to do is fill out a questionnaire to assess your specific needs, and then you get matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. How cool is that? Then you schedule secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you can exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. You can also request a new therapist anytime at no additional charge. Join the 2 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced therapist from BetterHelp. There's a special offer to the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast listeners. You get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/slang. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/slang, SLAYING. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast. You're listening to the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast with Coach Felicia, where we empower Black women to overcome their doubts, fears, and insecurities in order to give birth to their God-given purpose. Join me and sometimes some of my friends on our journey as we remind you that you are not alone. I'm Felicia Wallace, and together we will find our fears and slay them. Hey Slayers, welcome back to another episode of the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast. It's your girl, Coach Felicia. First and foremost, I'm back. I am so excited to be back, to be talking to y'all, to be in your ear, to catch you up on all the things. I missed y'all for real. Like I really, really did. Welcome to all the new and the continued listeners. Y'all have been showing up in real life. Y'all have been showing up. So no matter how you found the podcast, whether it's by way of guest episode, solo episode, or you found me on Google, social media, thank you so much for being here. If you have not subscribed to the newsletter, please make sure that you go to the website and you subscribe now. I'm going to tell you why, because I have some things that y'all probably missed if you were not subscribed to the newsletter. Like, as much as I appreciate you guys being here and listening to me every week and listening to the guest episodes on the Thursdays, y'all really have to get connected to what is happening with Slaying Self-Doubt outside of the podcast. Because if you remember correctly, because I do, we usually end in July, right? And what was supposed to happen, matter of fact, we were supposed to have a guest. Matter of fact, we were supposed to have a guest for the month of June. I was going to do an IG live series, and that didn't happen because she ended up having a death in her family. And so we're going to do that in October. I'll tell you about that later. But what also ended up happening is that the show ended abruptly because I caught COVID. My whole family caught COVID the weekend after Father's Day. And so I was sat down. The Lord sat me down for quite some time. I don't think that that was like what, June 19th, June something or another. I don't think I left my house till like July 9th, 7th, something like that. It was after the 4th, right? And so it was a long time. So thankfully my family was healed completely from it. It started with me, then my son caught it, and then my husband caught it. And we were struggling, y'all, for real. I shout out to my oldest son, because I actually think he had it, but he didn't have as many symptoms as we did. And I think he had it before I had it. So you just never know. But either way, he held us down those 2 weeks that we were in quarantine. And I'm just so grateful that we made it to the other side. After that, I definitely enjoyed my summer. But I knew then, I was like, it was no reason for me to come back, because I still was having difficulty with breathing, not shortness of breath, but just being able to talk regular without feeling exhausted. And so I just was like, okay, then I guess we're breaking until we come back. And then generally we start at the beginning of September, which would have been last week. You're getting this on the 11th. Would have been last week that we would have had it, but life just kept lifing. Okay. My niece ended up, her mom was out of town. My niece ended up breaking her foot. She was basically under my care. And so I had to take care of her. Then a week after that, my son breaks his thumb at school. Like it really was life and like for real. It was really on some like what is happening? I don't know what's happening around me or what signs I'm supposed to be listening to, but it felt like the Lord was saying like you still have some things you need to work on here before you be out here worried about everybody else. So take care of your family and the needs at home before you move forward. And so that leads us to here as to why we are now talking mid September. You know, I had to get the kids off to school. My son started high school. And that is just it's a different space. It's a different transition for me and for him. But we're 2 weeks in and he's liking it. He's enjoying it. You know, I'm still watching him grow up. It's a lot for me, but you know, we're making it. We're making it. But I just want to thank y'all because in spite of all of that, in spite of me abruptly ending in June and not having started at the beginning of September, you will continue to listen because I'm at almost by the time this airs, I will have had be at 47,000 downloads. Y'all know the goal was 50. Like when I broke in the summer, so I think in June I had just hit 42. So to be at 47,000 downloads means that y'all continue to listen even when I wasn't putting anything out on a consistent basis. And that just continues to show me that like girl, you are doing this because God has called you to it, and it's happening, and people are listening, and people are paying attention, and they're hopping on board, and they are joining this journey of slaying your self doubt because they need it. And so, I just really, when I tell y'all, thank you for continuing to listen and continuing to support me, and it is an encouragement to me. I truly, truly mean it. That I am really, really grateful because nobody would have like I literally could not have thought about this when the very first episode I was in my closet recording like I just didn't see this happening. But what this does mean, yo, it really does mean we're gonna hit 50,000 downloads before the end of this year. That is what I am excited about. Like that was my goal, and I'm just gonna keep going with it. What else did y'all miss by not being plugged into either social media or the newsletter? It's a few things. So in July, one of the things, so actually even before July, at the beginning of the year, and if y'all haven't noticed, like this about to be like a episode where we like catching up. I'm telling you what's happening, telling you what did happen. You know, it's just like we back, like, let's just get back to this. There's no like plan, no structure, no any of those things. You may get some lessons in here. I may drop a word here that whatever the Lord put on my spirit. But right now, it's just really me giving you all the things that you have missed and what is to come, right? And so at the beginning of the year, the Lord put on my heart one day in the shower to do this workshop. And I kept really like, I don't know, like, I don't think I'm ready, blah, 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 blah. And finally, I was just like, all right, let me just do this. You know, I spent some months creating one thing. And then because of that, this workshop came up. And in July, I did my very first virtual workshop. It is called the Slaying in One Day Workshop. So if you were not connected to the newsletter or following me on social media, you missed it, honey, because I did one in July and I've done one in August. And I will be doing another one this coming Saturday, September 17th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. One of the things that I love about it is that it allows me to connect with you all in a way that I don't get to do here. When I'm on this podcast, like I'm literally looking at myself, I am talking to myself, and I'm responding in a way that I think if someone was talking to me that I might respond, but really it's just me talking and you listening. This allows me to ask you some like really good questions to really help you get to this space where you are ready to make a difference, right? So like the whole purpose of the workshop was like when I feel like the way God created it was like, okay, this is going to be your opportunity to have a conversation with people and to get them to dig deep, but not super deep, but deep enough, right? And so in the workshop, we will identify the things that are holding you back. You're going to get clarity on the last thing that God called you to do, because a lot of times that's the starting point, right? Like we want the end, but we ain't even done the thing in the beginning, whatever that is. And the only person that knows is you. I don't know, and nobody else can help you, but I feel like we need time and space to be able to figure that out. And then you're going to create an action plan and an accountability strategy. But the beautiful part about it is that you get me and you get other like-minded women who are ready to be encouraged and ready to move forward in their lives. Like, you get us to be able to empower and to support you and to push you onto that thing that you want to be able to do. So y'all missed it. If you weren't there, you missed the first one. I can tell you right now, they're going to happen monthly until the Lord tells me otherwise. Right now, it seems to be falling on the third Saturday of the month. So this one is the 17th of October, of September, and October is going to be October 15th. So y'all just listen, I'm telling you, get in so that you know, because of course, those of you all connected to the newsletter, or you are in the Facebook group, you get your information first before it is shared publicly to everybody on social media. So, get connected. Okay. If you are interested in doing it, the tickets are in the show notes today. Go ahead and get your ticket. Have your friend come along with you. Again, it's virtual. You can do it from your home. Your screen don't have to be on. It ain't, you don't have to be dolled up or anything like that. It is really, truly come as you are so that you can do the work. A lot of times we want to wait until January. It's September. Like, why not start now? Why not just get it out the way so that you know so that you're already in that process, right? Like 90 days from now will be the end of the year. You'll be ready if you go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the other thing is that what else have I done? If you've been following me on social media, back in July, I also was able to cover a conference as a media outlet. And you should be seeing some videos and snippets of that coming very soon. That will be I don't know if I put it on a podcast, and I might have to figure out how I'm gonna do it to get it on the podcast, but I'll definitely be on social media and on my YouTube page. But it was definitely an amazing event. It was something that I was grateful to be a part of, but it also showed me something that, things that slaying self-doubt could be that I wasn't expecting it to be, and how we could show up in different areas. And so I'm just grateful for that opportunity. And, whatever the Lord chooses to do next, I'm ready for it. With that being said, the next thing actually is in September. I have a rich friend who, and I say rich friend because I was a part of Nicole Walter's 1K One Day, and that's what she calls that's what she calls us. She calls us her rich friends. That's a part of the group that we were in. And so she has a nonprofit. She Rises Inc. in the DMV area is a nonprofit organization that supports young mothers ages 15 to 25 by providing mentoring and life skill training, and empowers young mothers to rise. And so they are having their anniversary brunch, and I was asked to be the keynote speaker. I am so honored to be able to do that. Like, it really is, like, again, y'all, I tell y'all often, a lot of times you don't know why you're called to do certain things. You all know that if you've been a part of this journey from the beginning, this Slaying Self-Doubt started as a small group within my church. It was nothing. You hear me? It literally was me just doing the next thing that God told me to do. Every time it was me doing the next thing, like start the small group. Okay. Change the name of the small group. Okay. Use the same name and create a podcast. Okay. Record the podcast. Okay. Publish the podcast. Okay. Create a social media account. Okay. Post about it. Like, it literally is like one step after the other, another. And I'm not where I want to be, but I'm so grateful I'm not where I was, because I'm very clear on the fact that I am operating in purpose, and I'm moving in a forward direction. And I know that eventually, whatever it is that God has for me, and whatever the timing of it all is going to be in His timing. It can't be in my timing, because it's not for me. I'm always reminded, like, this isn't my thing. I literally, God gave this to me. So how am I going to be the one that says it needs to be done right now? How am I going to be the one that says, oh, well, I need it at this point in time, whatever have you. He gave it to me. So that means that he has to do it when he's ready to. But he is showing me snippets day by day, moment by moment, that like, this is what I have in store for you. As you continue to be obedient, as you continue to do what it is that I've called you to do, I am just going to continue to give you something so that you know that, like, daughter, I haven't forgot about you, right? People see what you're doing. People see what you're putting. They see the impact that you have. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the opportunity that's happening on September 24th. And if you would like to attend, or you want to sponsor a young woman, or you want to, if you would like to donate to the organization itself, you can click the link in my show notes, and that will be there as well. What else was I about? I was gonna say, I mentioned it earlier, but the Facebook group. I want y'all to join that. This is, like I said, this is for us to take this off air, so it's just not me talking to you. Like, I want y'all to talk back to me. Really, I did like a survey a couple of weeks ago, and just like how people wanted to interact or whatever have you, and people do want to interact, they do want to connect. And so the thing about it is that it can't just be me, y'all, like, for real. Like, I mean, I'm doing my part, right? Because you're listening to me. But you have to do your part too. Like, talk back. That's what I need from you. Okay. So join the Facebook group. There might be a name change, because I really am, like, God is showing me has been showing me so many different things over these past couple of months. And I think that that's another thing. Like, oftentimes we have a very rough time of being still. I know I do. I can't. Like, my brain just won't turn off. And I think about all the different things. Even as I was preparing for this show and getting it together, like, I literally made a separate list that had nothing to do with this, of like 15 things I need to do this week. Because that, like, our brains are all over the place. Some stuff had to do with the business. Some stuff had to do with my family. Some stuff had to do with me personally. Like, it's just so many different things that we be focused on. And I think we have to just be open to when God says, sis, I need you to sit down, and when he needs you to rest. And so that's why I think that this time was so necessary, even though it was, I was going to get a little at the time, but it needed to be in a way that I think that he needed to be able to show me, like, listen, this is what I need from you. This is the time. And, of course, we don't ever want to say, like, oh, the Lord brings illnesses on people and, stuff like that. But I done been sat down so many times, and I'm being very honest. All the times that I was sat down, it was an injury or something. Like, I was sick. Like, I physically could not move out of the bed for some reason. But those were the moments with the Lord downloaded in me. Those are the moments, because he knows that if I'm up and moving, like, he gonna give me some stuff, but what he needs to give me to get to the next level, I'm not gonna get it in that moment. And I feel like I keep learning, like, but maybe I'm not, right? I must not be learning the lesson that, like, you need to include some intentional downloadable time. So maybe that might be the lesson. And I just learned it right now, that instead of me being sat down, I probably need to sit myself down for, not for like an hour or two or whatever, but really say, okay, I'm gonna take this weekend to just allow God to download in me. And I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna fill my schedule up with 18 million different things. I'm gonna really take this time and allow God to pour into me, give me whatever it is he needs from me, so I can do the next thing. Yeah, okay. So I got that revelation talking to y'all right now. So I guess that's it, right? um Also, so with all that, so that's all that's been going on, right? And so with the things that are coming, or what's happening, or whatever we're doing, kind of going forward, this month is National Self-Care Month. And so again, if you're not following me on the socials, I did a whole, like, what's happening with Slaying Self-Doubt, allow me to reintroduce myself, all of that stuff for the people who do not know who I am. But we're doing a self-care challenge, and I realized throughout this time that, like, that is something that I need to incorporate into my life daily. And so it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm going to get a massage, although it could be, or, I need to get a pedicure, or I'm going on vacation. All of those things are self-care. But sometimes it's as simple as setting an intention for yourself. Sometimes it's as simple as going outside for a walk, or getting a cup of coffee at a local coffee shop, or dancing it out or meditating or I don't know, getting an extra hour of sleep or sleeping in, like what, unplugging for several hours, getting off of social media, like all of those things are care for yourself, and you have to figure out what that is. So I do have a downloadable form that you can use for some different ideas, but I mean, we're already into the month. But if you're interested in joining me in doing this, go ahead and download it, so you have some ideas and so that you can start incorporating that in your day. Like my goal is to incorporate some self-care for myself. Right now it seems to be exercise. I do see that as self-care. I am taking care of myself, right? And so sometimes when I'm doing certain things, I'm like, oh dang, I didn't get a chance to do this. But I'm realizing that taking the moment to exercise, walk, go to the gym, whatever it is, like this is me giving back to myself, and this is me taking care of the body that God gave me, so that when I'm called to do the next thing, I'm physically ready, right? Like that's the other part. Like when we are thinking about our goals and thinking about what it is that God has called us to do, we aren't thinking about it in this holistic space. And we talked about this before when we talked about how self-doubt affects your health. But we don't always think about it like holistically. Like I need to be whole and ready for whenever God is ready to use me. Because if I can't physically stand somewhere, or if I can't, I don't have the stamina or the energy to be able to do something, then I'm missing, right? And so if I miss, then you miss, right? And we have to be able to, we got to do our work so other people can do theirs. And so, me taking care of myself in that way. But then also, like, I also look at self-care as like a celebration, right? Of me. Like, it's celebrating me like you deserve. And, a lot of times it's like, people want to say like it's luxury stuff or whatever. Sometimes no, maybe sometimes I deserve to be able to just go sit by the water with a glass of, pumpkin spice latte. um, fall is coming, y'all. It is upon us. Okay. And I am ready. For a long time I didn't really care for it, but I like the taste of it. It feels very like fallish. But anyway, I digress. Okay. But yes, if you would like to join, go ahead and click the no show notes for the downloadable, or it's in my IG. What else is coming? So next month is actually financial planning month. So remember, I told you guys that back in June, we were supposed to have a conversation with money mindset coach Tiffany Burns about our money and how self-doubt plays a role in our finances, and, doing better at budgeting and taking care of our money and all those different things. We're going to have this conversation in October. So on Sundays, you're going to hear from me, but on Thursday evenings, you are going to hear from myself and Tiffany. We're going to be on Instagram. So make sure that y'all are connected to that, so that again, it really kind of goes hand in hand though, right? Because when we're talking about the slaying one day workshop, and we're talking about these things to get ourselves prepared. Like I mentioned this a little while ago, that like we all are in like seasons, right? Some of it is you're in your moving season, like you're actually going. Some of it is we're in a waiting season. And sometimes we're in like preparation, like, and it could all go hand in hand, because you could be in a winter season with your family, but in a waiting season within your, your job, right? Or in a preparation season within your health. Like it could all be happening at the same time. But what I believe that is missing, it has been for myself as well, is that when we're in that waiting season, a lot of times what we're doing is we're complaining to God about why this thing is not happening. We're complaining and we're saying, Lord, you said blah blah blah, when is that gonna happen, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. We think preparation is supposed to happen when we get the next thing. Okay, now I'm supposed to be prepared for it. No, preparation actually happens in the waiting, right? You continue to move forward. You continue to serve others. You continue to do what you can do, so that when God says go, you're going. So you can't prepare and go at the same time. Like you have to be prepared to go. And so when we're having these conversations, I want y'all to know that this is my way. Like this is God's way of preparing you, because you're going to run into these things. When we're talking about slaying self-doubt, and that the fact that it shows up in multiple areas in our lives, you're going to have a season where you're going to have self-doubt in your finances, and you're going to feel like, you're not living in abundance, or things are happening that your bills, that your debt to income ratio is it's ridiculous, right? Like you're wondering how you gonna make your money the next month. And let me be very transparent right now. Like this right here, what I tell y'all all the time, whenever God is putting something on me and he has me working in a certain direction and he has me talking to you all about something, it is because it's something that I am actually like in real time going through. And for my in regards to planning and finances and all that stuff, like, you know, we made a very conscious decision about what we were going to do for our sons as far as like high school, and we're paying for high school. That is a conscious decision that I made. I am investing in my children's future. Like the return on my investment is going to be so ridiculous. I'm not worried about it right now. However, in this present moment, God called me away from something to create something, right? That's evident. You over here when I left my job. And when I am going to God and I'm saying, Jesus, no, I know you brought me out of that 9 to 5, but I understand why. I get it now. But you also blessed us with this opportunity for our sons to go here. And so what I'm trying to figure out is how 1+1 =3. Because right now, the math is not mathing. And what I found myself being in the space of is like, well, I'm either waiting, right? So here's what we talk about waiting. Saying sometimes people we wait, and I'm saying with my air quotes, we wait. And waiting looks like I ain't gonna do nothing until God shows up. Like God said he gonna make a way and he gonna make a way. So I'm gonna just sit over here and I'm gonna just remind him every day that he's supposed to make a way. Good morning, Lord. How you doing? It's me again. You supposed to make a way. Is it happening today, this afternoon, before 5 o'clock? Because I got these bills, tuition about to come out. They about to withdraw this money. My mortgage is due, my car note is insurance, all these different things. We're continuously asking. Then we say our prayers at night. Okay, thank you, Lord, for this day. I pray that I have rest. And then also, Lord, since you didn't come through this morning, if by chance you could make it happen by the morning, like I'm gonna go to sleep and I'm gonna rest. And this is like we're bringing that worry into every single day, and we bring in our burdens and we're asking God. But what we're lacking is the trust, right? Because really, God is saying like, you can bring your burdens to me, but you're supposed to lay them. If you lay something down, and then I need you to walk away. I need you to just leave it here and let me do it. But what the question we have is like, what I'm supposed to do in the meantime? And I remember a sermon that asked like, what do you do while you wait? And it was, I think it was Transformation Church. But it was like, what do you do in the wait? And a lot of churches had, but I distinctly remember this because he had like like a towel over his arm, and he was like as if he was a waiter, and he was like, you serve. And so what does that look like? I don't know what that looks like for you, but for me it looks like serving in the youth department, and for me it looks like serving in my life group department. For me it looks like serving my children. For me it looks like serving my family. For me it looks like doing the things that I want, like what it is that I'm asking for, what it is that I'm looking at, but actually doing some work. We talk about this often. Faith without works is dead. Like in this real lifetime season that I'm having, and we'll dig a little deeper into it in October, but in this real time situation that I'm having, I'm like, some of it is like, girl, you're gonna have to put yourself out there in a different way. Yeah, okay, you want Slay yourself out to be a household name. You want this thing to blow up. You want people to hire you for coaching, but have you told anybody you a coach? You done mentioned it. You say, oh, I'm Coach Felicia, I'm a blah, blah, blah. But are you actually putting yourself out there so people can work with you? Are you actually putting yourself out there so people know what it is that you bring, what it is that you can give them, how God has blessed you to be able to connect with women who look like you, who have the same insecurities and doubts as you? Have you ever put yourself in a position to really be able to let people know how you can serve them? Nah. Okay. Well, have you even thought about reaching out to organizations where you can do certain things within the same thing? Like have coaching platforms where you could do the same thing. You could serve people by coaching. No, I didn't do that either. Have you even thought about applying to other organizations and working in a different type of department where you can still do what it is that God called you to do? No, it didn't even, no, I was just waiting. And I'm saying to you is that some of what it is that God is waiting for is you. Saying you waiting, y'all looking at each other like, Who gonna move first? And I can guarantee you, he waiting for you. He waiting for you to do the thing that you feel like you shouldn't have to do. He waiting for you to do the thing that you feel like, well, you said you was gonna do this. Why I gotta do that? Why I got this gonna make me get... Listen, we could take this into a whole nother level, and I'm not even about to do that because this is just supposed to be a very light, like, y'all, you already know that right now you is playing with God and you are playing with him and what it is that he's telling you to do. And I'm telling you, go. For this is for the both of us. Go. Just do it. Even if I'm gonna say this and then I'm moving on because I got to go. In this situation, in this current space that I am right now, in real life reality, money makes the world go around, and I need it, right? Again, I said 1 + 1 does not equal 3. I recognize that, I have a younger son who's going to go to the same school. That is my desire. That is my hope. But I have to plan now. So in order for me to be able to pay for him to go to school in 2 years, I can't wait for 2 years. I have to start now. So then that means that, well, Felicia, what do that look like? Oh, well, that may look like, oh, while you're working on this, you need to also apply to some positions so that you can set money aside for what you want in the beginning. What we're waiting for is like, oh, I need God to bless me 2 years from now. But right now is my preparation season. And I can do what I have control of, because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I trust God for it, but I don't know what's going to happen. But what I can do right now is prepare for what my part is. And so that is what I'm doing. I'm preparing for my part. And so I'm asking you, how are you preparing for your part? God gonna bless you, but there's some work that you have to do. How are you preparing for your part? I'm gonna leave it right there with y'all because we not even getting into it that deep. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this message. Okay, I hope y'all enjoyed this message, this episode. Thank y'all so much again for just continuing to show up and be here. As always, thank y'all for rocking with me. Listen, y'all know we partner with Better Health. Please take charge of your mental health, and you can get 10% off your first month of therapy at www.betterhelp.com/slaying, SLAYNG. They're going to give you 10% off for being a part of our community for your first month. Y'all, for real, y'all know Jesus in therapy. I am an advocate all day, every day. We got t-shirts. It's about to be hoodie season. So go out here and get your We Just Trust in God hoodie or t-shirt. Grab a journal. If y'all want to work with me, listen, I just told you they got the Slay in One Day workshop. You need to be there. You can always book a connection call to work with me directly. And then coming very, 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 very soon will be Slaying Self-Doubt group coaching programs. I'm excited about that, y'all, because when I tell you, listen, the Lord has been downloading. Make sure that y'all are subscribed to the newsletter. Please share this episode with at least 10 people. We are close to that 50,000 download mark. And so I'm just so grateful for you guys. Make sure that you're following me on Instagram at Slaying Self-Doubt. Until next week, see ya. All right, y'all, that's all for this week. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to share, subscribe, rate, and review. Remember to head over to Facebook and Instagram and follow me at Slaying Self-Doubt. Oh, wait, don't forget, go to my YouTube channel and watch this episode, and remember to press the subscribe button. Until next week, see ya.